Hi Imogen. So as we were talking yesterday, we're going to be looking at perfect cadences. When we look at perfect cadences, we write them in 4-part harmony. So we have 4 voices: soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. When you're writing your cadences, it's important that you look at these voice leadings and these vocal ranges, and you try and stay within it for each of the 4 voices. So when we talked about perfect cadence yesterday, we talked about them being the end of a song or a finishing cadence that's a 5-to-1. And what that means that within the scale, whatever that tonic key is, we're going from the 5th chord, which is the closest chord in tonality, back down to 1 and finishing the song. For this example, we're going to be looking at it in the key of F major. So we've got our treble clef and our bass clef, and the key of F major has a B flat inside. When you're writing a cadence, we're only going to do 2 bars. Make sure you've got your double bar line at the end. Underneath, I want you to always label your chords so you know where you're coming from and where you're going to. And then, identifying the key, we need to write the chords out next to it. So we know we're in the key of F major. So our tonic chord, or our 1 chord, is going to be F. F, A, C. If you get stuck on the chords, just think about your arpeggios in your flute playing. The 5th chord can be found at the top: C, E, and G. Now we talked about it being 4-part harmony, that is soprano, alto, tenor, bass, but we only have 3 notes. So we need to double a note. The only 2 that you're allowed to double is the tonic and the 3rd. Don't double the 5th. For now, we're just going to keep doubling the tonic. So C and F on top. Remembering your rules. Step 1, bass. So you go from C to F. That's your bass root movement. C major over to F major. 2, you identify what's the same between the 2. So if we look here and we look here, we see that there are 2 notes not already allocated that are the same. These Cs. So C will go to C. 3, you want to find your leading tone, which remember is the 7th note of the scale. So we're in the F major, the letter before F in the alphabet is E. So we're going to go from E, goes to F major. E to F. And then what's left should be stepping up, G to A. Now the important part is when you're writing this cadence out is to stay within all of our voice leadings. So let's do the bass first. We know that our bass has to move from root position to the tonic. So we're going from this C, and I would recommend rising up to this F. That's our bass. Then we can look at these other notes, and there are no definite answers for where they need to go, as long as they fit within our voicing. So I'm going to take this E to F. If we can find somewhere that an E and an F fit comfortably, I wouldn't put it here, because you've got your E to F and your basses are going to, your bass and your tenor is going to hit. So I'm going to put it in the alto, which sits nice and comfortably, E going up to F. G to A and C to C. Well, I'm looking at my notes here and I think maybe C to C we can put in the tenor voice. It sits nice and comfortably in the middle of that range. And lastly, E to F. We've got that. G to A. Well, let's have a look. We've got a G at the top of the soprano here, and then we've got an A here. Well, let's try and put a G here and an A here. We can see that the spacing is nice and close, which is good, and everything sits within the range of the instruments. I want you to have a go at writing it out in F major first, then C major, then G major. Remembering to focus on your voice leading. Make sure you do your ready retina, and then keep it within an octave here. Have a go.